I'm trying now. I just heard some advice from a woman who's getting ready to turn 100. Saw it today, and apparently it's going viral. Her granddaughter recorded her on TikTok, and her 100th birthday is in like a week. And her basic message was, get a better attitude about life and don't sweat the small stuff. That's her thing. But yet all I ever do is sweat the small stuff. And
yeah,
you do.
Yeah, I think he would dismiss this old woman out of hand.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? But, I am a person who wants to live to be 100,
So in your mind, what is it, 40 years from now?
No, 50, no. No, almost 50 years. Almost 50 years.
Oh, sure. So when the reporter comes to talk to you, when your granddaughter has made a TikTok or whatever the future equivalent will be then, an AI equivalent,
right?
You'll tell the reporter, sweat everything, control everything.
Yes.
Let nothing go. Forgive no one.
Right. Right.
Remember everything.
Right.
Hold grudges.
Hold a grudge.
Hold grudges. Let things eat away at you.
Yes. Let these things fester.
That's
the hate keeps me alive.
The hate inside you keeps you alive. But what worries me is this woman who is this close to 100. She's going to be 100 next week and in good shape, lives in a retirement community in Florida. Says, I only have her quote here. She says, don't sweat the small stuff.
I have friends who are 20 years younger, 15 years younger, and their attitudes are going to cause them not to survive to my age. Their attitude is I don't see my kids more than once a week. Or the food I was served was cold. If the food isn't quite right, have an extra dessert. If you hear from your children once a week, they call you once a week, you call them once a week. Change your attitude. I try my best not to sweat the small stuff and to have a positive attitude.
Man, I know. It's just like a wake-up call, isn't it?
What an outlook.
I know, I did like it. And doesn't she sound great for 100?
Yeah.
She does.
And she looks great, too.
I'll tell you, I'm worried.
You know what I mean.
Why'd you go there?
You know what I mean. I mean, she looks very young.
I'd delete it.
You love her. What were you saying, my friend? You love her outlook.
No, yeah, I've realized in the last year, with my failing health,
yes,
my medical issues, now medical debt in the $36,000 range.
You hit your deductible.
You're not sweating it.
You're not sweating. Don't sweat it.
Insurmountable credit card debt.
Right. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it.
Now I owe the government money again.
Yep.
All of this stuff. And you know what I realized? It doesn't bother me.
It shouldn't.
I used to think I had a bad attitude, but now as things just keep getting worse, I just keep going, we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I did?
My steering wheel is falling off of my car, and every day I'm like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, right. Right.
Let's see what's happening here.
I've got to try to keep this woman's advice in mind. I've got to be
How can you make changes in your life at this stage?
It's such a conundrum because, I mean, at some point you are who you are, and I am vindictive and controlling and passive-aggressive and hold things inside.
I think you need to have happen. You need things to go so wrong at once, like I'm having happen, that you just find yourself at night going, doesn't matter.
So you're swallowing the rage, Biggie.
Yeah, well,
no,
you let it go.
Like I just letting it go. Yeah, I'm like, it goes to collection. It goes to collections. What is collections, anyways?
Right.
They call me a few times a day.
Whatever. Right. One time, years ago, we had an employee here named Neil, who he and I were friends, and he was in charge of like promotions and stuff. And we were doing some event that was going to take a lot of coordination. We were out at a water park. Okay. This is how many years ago I was working for the station that we went out to a water park and welcomed people like it was free for first day out of school, that kind of thing. And we were just knocking our heads against the wall to get it done. There were so many hundreds of things to do, beforehand. And we were sitting there kind of arguing about one thing or another in a meeting of 5 or 6 of us. And one of the interns, and Neil's a lot like me. He holds things in. He can be prickly. He can be prickly, He was moody, I guess people would describe. But I liked him, and we got along well. But at this particular meeting, he and I were kind of butting heads a little bit. And one of the interns said, "In 100 years, who'll care?" And both of us turned to that intern and said, "Get out." You get out right now.
You don't get college credit for nothing.
In 100 years. That's what he said. He said, guys, in 100 years, who'll care? And we both just looked at him like, what are you talking about? What in the world?
Who invited you to this meeting of important people?
This little hippie get a internship here.
Right. And we were both just like, what kind of attitude is it? In 100 years, who'll care? But that's sort of it. It's like, oh, yeah, it'll work itself out. Let it go. All
that intern was Mark Zuckerberg.
We sent him packing. We sent him on his way.
Or I don't know. I think he said something about Harvard.
I'm going to change it. I'm going to change things because of that woman, that 100-year-old woman, and what she said.
Well, maybe Biggie is onto something, because as you've heard, his litany of failures and
it just can't get worse.
Brushes with death. You may need, Kelly, a seismic event.
Maybe.
You'll have what I see in your future is a volcanic meltdown in front of coworkers or family, or a combination.
Yeah, that can certainly happen. That we know.
Or God forbid, listeners.
Oh, we know that could happen.
Yeah, because you're this close to spewing over anyway.
That's the thing. I'll tell you,
especially when you're not eating.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm on a restricted diet right now. I had a great weigh-in yesterday. I had a terrific weigh-in.
Oh, good.
But I was really watching it yesterday. I've really been playing it close to the vest here. And then even last night, I could feel myself kind of losing it with my... Well, two things happened yesterday. And I'm going to apologize to Biggie. I'm going to apologize for some things. Here's one of these. This is such an example of who cares? Just let it go, Yesterday, Biggie did something that bothered me. And I'll tell you what he did.
During the program?
No, post-program. He texted us with a meme that's going round, I guess, about these guys on this submarine. These guys are on a submarine.
Still missing.
And I just read today they have one expert. So I give them about a 1% chance now of survival. Let me just look at my phone here. And it was last night. And the meme, which of course Biggie has no connection to. He just saw it. And the meme is, only the rich could die on the Titanic 111 years after the fact. And I looked at that and I thought, that's too soon for that kind of comment. And I wrote him back, too soon. And Biggie said, only the rich say it's too soon to make a joke like that. And that bothered me even more. And I just went,
he doubled down.
I said, he doubled down. He doubled down on that.
And then I tripled down.
And then, without me even saying anything back, he comes back and says, I got more of them where that came from. If you want that.
There's a whole stock of these memes now about submersibles.
About that really. I mean, these guys.
The internet is moving at lightning speed.
They're merciless on these people. And at least one guy is rich who's down there.
Yeah, the very rich, the billionaire.
Right.
And here's my thing. I don't know if you've heard about the billionaire's stepson.
I don't know. No.
This says a lot to me. During all this tragic time, his stepfather's missing. He posted on his social media, "Big ups, I'm going to Blink-182 show tonight."
Yeah, his stepdad is the Hamish guy, the billionaire.
Yes.
And the Biggie's right. The stepson said something like, I think he would want me to go to Blink-182 because they're reuniting, guys.
Yeah. It's
my God.
It's the original lineup, okay?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Now, I'm not supposed to sweat the small stuff. But that right there.
Now, the original.
It's Blink. That gets me.
He made one post with just him with a Blink-182 shirt, like, what up, Blink, San Diego? And then he made another post, and he's like, basically trying to make it like, guys, music helps me at difficult times.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Right.
Like Hamish is missing.
Oh, man.
Pop would have won it that way.
That's pretty low.
That's pretty low.
That's pretty bad. That's way worse than Biggie's meme. And that meme got to me. And then today when I heard this 100-year-old woman say, don't sweat the small stuff, you know what? That's small stuff. People find that funny, I guess. Yeah. And it's not that big a deal. It didn't hit right with me. But
there was a book that came out 80s, maybe 1990s. I remember the title was something like "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff," and in parentheses the title was "And it's all small stuff."
That goes back to the intern who said, "Who'll care 100 years from now?" If it's like sometimes if you've got a bunch of work to do or something, you say, "Well, you'll do it eventually. It'll get done." That's the whole thing. But That when I saw that, I was like, I don't like that Biggie said that's too soon for
Yes.
it. But, I've probably done as bad. I'm sure in the past I've said something way too
Trying to be a little edgy.
Trying to be edgy. Or it's funny, I've kind of learned this lesson too. Like when people tell one joke versus another joke and one guy gets in trouble for it and one guy, you just can't judge it,
Yeah.
It's just how it hit. When I saw this hit me wrong, I didn't say anything. It just hit me wrong. So
because the story is not over yet in our minds.
Well, yeah.
I think that's part of it.
I'm still hoping for those guys, but boy, doesn't look good.
And it's interesting, too, because like Biggie said, we're now starting to see different reactions. Like the stepson and Blink 182.
No, I didn't know that. That's really bad. I think that hits me wrong. That hits me wrong for him to do something.
I got these tickets like 6 months ago.
And again, it's the original lineup.
It's the original lineup.
I feel like you've got to miss Blink 182. And could you catch them in 2 weeks somewhere else? I mean, you're rich enough to probably fly somewhere else.
Yeah. And by the way, Blink 182's music has never helped anyone's soul. I love them. It's one of my favorite bands.
You're a fan.
But I don't think I've ever listened to them for during a difficult time.
I think that was an inappropriate. It goes back.
So, in addition to that, by the way, let me just interrupt. I'm starting to see now people are saying, well, these people, other people get lost at sea, and we don't talk about them. It's the inevitable fallout of a story that continues to dominate the news.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's something we can all sort of. Can't relate to it, but it's all something we can watch and sort of agree on. It's not, you can't really take a side until you start to.
I can't believe people, And
my grandmother was lost at sea, trying to come to this country from such and such.
Right. But because this is a submersible going down to see the Titanic, which was the most famous shipwreck of all time, and because we don't know if they're going to make it or not. I mean, it's looking dire, but we're all hanging on. It's like, well, are they or are they not?
Yeah, the headlines now are at Race Against Time, which is appropriate.
They said that they've heard some banging or something
I heard
down below.
Banging, but who knows?
I wonder if that'll turn out to be from them.
Yeah, they heard some noises.
There's a lot of things in the ocean.
Gives you a little hope, but yes, I mean there's so many different things that it could be. The meme,
and now there people are saying because we talked about this yesterday. CBS reporter went down in this same submersible with the same captain a year ago, something like that, and apparently he's now getting dragged. The reporter, because he didn't report on the severity of them getting lost 2 years ago or a year.
Really?
For 2 hours,
he just glazed over that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
During the report.
We have some audio of him. It's on the grid later. This will come back up later. Dave Aiken needs to be here for this.
Yeah.
But we do have some of that report. And it was much more, of course, it's very lighthearted. And they were like, oh my gosh, it's controlled with a joystick.
With a joystick. A video game controller.
That's what they were saying. With this meme that Biggie sent, which really got under my skin.
I'm really surprised.
I know. I don't know why that hit me so. I think it's dietary. I mean, I had
and we were having kind of a jovial conversation until you dropped in.
Yeah. Well,
that's true. There were other.
It was a more lighthearted mood.
Just messing around, and Biggie said this thing. I don't know. I just
dropped that in
there. These guys are fighting down there. And maybe
someone had just sent it to me. I laughed.
I did not laugh at that. It's funny how that is. You found that fun. I think that it's like this. Chris Demm and I saw a movie once where Alan Alda explained it brilliantly. He said, comedy is tragedy plus time. You tell a joke about Lincoln's death today, ha ha. You tell it to Mrs. Lincoln at the funeral, it's not the time.
You're the jerk.
These people are still on a submarine. They're still down there.
I think there's a couple, and I don't want to be insensitive.
Or you don't? All evidence to the contrary.
But I do find it a bit odd. So it's dominating the headlines quite like it is. It's for people who knew the risks of going down.
Yes.
To see the Titanic. You could have gone to Pigeon Forge and seen it for $19.95.
I did.
You did.
I did. I'm
just saying, it's, this person, the billionaire is an explorer who obviously knows the risk. Look at everything else he's done.
Yes.
But I know it's for people trapped, but I mean, I just feel like we're spending a lot of time, and now we're getting the Coast Guard involved and the Navy involved.
But it's very captivating that we don't know what's going on with it. Doesn't it remind you of the Apollo 13 mission? I mean,
not at all.
How not? You know the risks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a government operation, but
Maybe
you know the risks going up. They're all. I mean, they're not. It's not a rich
It's
guy.
more like a cave rescue.
Okay,
But I don't even put it.
it's like a cave rescue.
To me, it was more like when those kids were stuck in the Chilean mine. That was like children.
Yeah.
These are, frankly, rich people who knew
Well,
the
not
risks
only one of them is rich, right?
Well, I think you have to. I thought it cost $250,000 to get in it.
I thought 3. Well, I don't know the answer, but I thought a few of them were like scientists that go down.
I think I guess they work for the
I don't know.
company.
I mean,
I may be wrong.
But
I don't know.
There's a captain, and then there's the one guy and his 19-year-old son, and then there's Hamish,
yeah.
and then there's the French researcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's like an expert on Titanic.
But does their wealth? Why does their wealth?
I don't.
Make
It's
a
not even the
difference?
wealth. I think you should know the risks when you do it. Well, yeah,
It's class warfare. That's why.
it is. Well, I'm just saying there seems to be that line of people who are like, I wish I was
Don't
rich
glaze
enough.
over it. Biggie's he's moved into eat the rich mode.
I don't want to eat the rich because I'd like to be the rich.
Well, listen. I hope you get rich. When you get
Yeah.
rich, if
I
you
wouldn't
were,
do this.
if you were down there,
No, God,
right. But if you were down there and you were my friend and you won the lottery and you said, "I'm going to go down and see the Titanic," and somebody made a joke like this about you, it's, "Hey, man, that's my friend. That's my friend down there," and was a great coworker for many years until he won the lottery. And before his his heart gave out, he wanted
To see Titanic.
Frankly, I'm surprised he cleared medical to get to get down there. That's what I would say. Why would you? That's what I would.
This
say.
is why I don't compare it to like NASA was like, oh my God,
Well,
we're
that's
going to the moon.
different.
We're going.
Okay.
These are guys who just wanted to go down
Yeah.
and get a glimpse at the Titanic. And I know it's only certain people, but can see it and this and that. I just don't find it that. I for the first time in a long time, I feel like we're making too big of a deal. Like, it's
really?
just, yeah.
Really? I think
Now that we're sending the Navy vessels out and the Coast Guard out.
Yeah,
and
but there, you can save 5 lives, or are there 5 people?
Yeah.
I mean, you can save those lives. Maybe they did hear something. I just feel like it's being appropriately covered. It's like it's not like break-in special music worthy, but they're covering it to me the exact right amount. And I just didn't like that meme because it's still. You send me that meme 5 years from now, maybe. You do it while it's going on, and you're just like, my God, how unfeeling. And seriously, if you won a bunch of money and did something like that, went to space with Elon Musk, and it blew up, and somebody made a joke 1 minute later, I'd say, wait a minute, I know this guy. This is my guy. But you don't know any of these people.
No, yeah,
and you're not wealthy.
No.
So you
Far from it.
Yeah, so you put that out.
I'm like
there.
people don't have memes ready for my death.
Well, listen, I don't care if you make fun of me after I'm dead, but I would prefer not to do it while you're standing over me while I'm in a coma. That's pretty much what these people are. These people are fighting for their lives, and I'm not blaming you, but somebody made this meme, and I think, well, how cold are we as a people to make these kinds of things?
The other meme was worse.
I'm sure. Well, you said. I said, is that a little too soon? And you said, I got more where that came from, bro. And I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to bed. She said, well, it's 5:45. I said, I don't care. I'm going.
I can't pickleball.
I'm going to bed. Yes, too rainy for pickleball. I'm going to bed. I don't know. So it hit me wrong. But again, I can't. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff anymore
Because you want to live to be 100.
because I want to live to be 100. And it's like when you get into it, people see many different things different ways as far as humor goes. Sometimes I laugh at stuff. People go, how can you laugh at that? What was I watching the other day? Oh, yeah.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, Shark Tank.
It's always Shark Tank.
It was Shark Tank. It was Shark Tank. This woman was presenting something on Shark Tank, and she was kind of scatterbrained and all over the road. And one of the sharks said, I like you. You're acting like a crazy chicken up there. And the other sharks were like, I'd be offended by that. You're not. And she told this story about how she had then she started breaking down. She's like, well, I had some sort of ailment that caused me to now. Oh, boy. It's one
Good
of
thing
those.
I didn't call you Looney Tunes.
Right, exactly. So, but I found it funny when he called her like crazy chicken, but the other people were upset. But you know how people look at things differently. Well, yesterday, and this goes along too. I'm the 2-hump grump in that meeting we have once a week.
Sure.
We have a meeting once a week where we discuss all things promotional for this radio station and this show.
How to take it to the next level.
How to take it to the next level. And yesterday, boy, and I wish I'd heard this 100-year-old woman's advice before I went into that meeting. I'll tell you what happened with that in a second. Paul, you wanted to comment on the submersible that's down now to see the Titanic. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. I get my news from you, and I only half listen. But you said yesterday that...
I like that. Yes.
You said yesterday that they had 96 hours of oxygen on there.
Yeah.
Would people start getting all stabby and offing each other just to save themselves?
Wow.
And buy themselves some extra time.
Wow.
It's funny you mentioned that because I had a coworker, Kelly, you were in the meeting upstairs, and one of our coworkers came by and she said, I'd strangle every one of those people
Just to
to get their air.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that, Paul.
Think about it.
By the way, they say now the time is roughly 23 hours from now is how much time they have left. They said very early tomorrow morning is when they'll run out of air. That's a great question. Would you do that? You know, I heard some people on the news say they'll probably not talk. You know, they'll breathe really shallow, that kind of thing, and not speak to each other. I didn't think about getting all stabby. Now, it's possible. Now, imagine the sub comes up and two of them are dead, you know, because they...
3 people killed the other 2.
Jeez.
For the oxygen.
Boy, that's a novel or a movie. And thank you, Paul.
It is.
I didn't even think that direction.
See, I would feel worse, too, if, like, we send a rescue sub down or something to... We sent 3 more people down to try to
and they die.
hook on, and they die.
Yeah.
Then I'd really be like, what are we doing here?
But that you know, we say this many, many times. That's their job. They chose to be rescuers. You don't have to be in the Coast Guard. You don't have to be on a sub-rescue crew.
You know who you're consistent on this because people that go out like hiking and get lost without one of the ping things, you never give any quarter to at all. You're always against them. You've been very pro ping from the beginning.
It's true.
Yeah.
100% consistent.
Well, that's one thing that a lot of people said yesterday. There's no ping.
Yeah,
there's nothing that ping.
Yeah, we need a ping on this. I mean, there's no question that it's so rudimentary.
Yeah.
This guy's report from CBS proves that.
I saw some diagrams. I guess they had to build it, obviously, so sturdy to go that deep that you almost just, that's why it's so just rudimentary inside.
Yeah.
That it's so much heavy. It's just basically controlled with that.
Yeah.
Because you just have to be able to get around down there. And you're looking through one tight, I mean, it's not windows.
There's one big porthole in the front, I think.
And that's it.
Oh, so you can see the...
Yeah.
You would
and
see
that's
the
pretty much it.
Titanic.
And they said the water is so murky that I could see where it would hit. Like if it got caught on something. Because it's one of those where you can't even see your hand in front of your face out there.
You know, now I'm only basing this on the movie Titanic. At the beginning of the movie, these guys are up well above the Titanic. Or maybe they're in a submarine, but they send that thing into it, you know, to go.
Like a water drone?
It's a robot, you know, and like he's lifting furniture. And so, you know what I'm talking about? Is that a real thing? Can they do that?
I don't know. And how much of that was just the movie?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I mean, James Cameron actually made a documentary where I believe he went down there.
He's been to it.
Yeah.
And they brought a lot of stuff back up from the Titanic. So you've got to have something like at the beginning of the movie. James Paxton's character, and he's now passed, or Bill Paxton, he's passed away now. But they're in I think they're in a submarine, but not that close. Well, maybe they are right above I think they are right above the Titanic. But they send out a robot that goes down, and he's filmed, so you see what the robot sees. And it goes into the staterooms and all that stuff. I wonder if you can do that. I don't know if that's real or not.
I bet that technology exists now.
By now, probably, because that's 25 years ago.
They'd have to have lights, obviously, but
and if I'm not mistaken, this isn't just one group that does this. This is just one of the groups.
Right?
So there might
we've got some experts coming who have been down there.
Yeah,
but not yet. It's not.
We started early because of my meme.
Yeah, that meme threw me I was like all night. I was like, Biggie, man, that meme. That got me, man.
Man, I'm glad I didn't send the other one. Actually, I'll tell you, the other one involves a scene from the movie Titanic.
Oh, my God.
And I bet you would have liked that one better because it did involve the movie Titanic.
Yeah, maybe so. Y'all see that dumbass movie, The Titanic?
And listen,
I did.
Yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate the calls of support and the emails, but I will not share the meme.
Oh, you're not going to share it anymore? You're not going to? You won't do it?
All my emails filling up. Hey, man, send me that. That sounds pretty funny.
I want to see it.
Do it. That's how callous. That's how callous we are.
Yeah, I'm tired of rich people, too. Send me the...